Dude, I love that theme song. I feel like every time I just let it go a little bit longer each week.
It's proper hype.
It's
It's
so
proper hype.
good. Yeah, Attack on TyriaNow. It's the shiz. I'm so glad we
Hmm.
chose that.
That's a very good one.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm still letting it play in the below us while we're talking.
Is that just going to be the background for the
It'll be the
podcast
background
today?
until I'm just gonna let it run. Cause
Sweet.
why not?
People might get tired of it by like the 15-minute mark. They might be like, "All
Yeah.
right,
All right.
pause."
Yeah, it's doing its little jukey june, so
Hmm.
I'll let it go to stop. All right. Yeah. Welcome to TyriaNow. This is episode 7.
7 of these.
7 of these,
That means
and
you have what they're what like an hour and a half each. That means you whatever 1.5 times 7 is how many hours of this you have to sit down and binge watch if this is your first time.
yeah, that's
Big
right.
brain.
Except for episode 1, which we won't talk about.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Anyways, I am Miko. He is Aaron, and we're here to talk about Guild Wars 2.
That is true. Not One Punch Man season 2 like Twitch chat is trying to derail us to,
No.
but Guild Wars 2 is what
Yeah.
we're actually here for.
You see ads
Fun,
now.
fun
Yeah, we were talking about that in the pre-show that we're seeing ads now, and apparently that's now a Tyria, not a Tyria, a Prime Twitch Prime thing. They've taken away the
the
that they
no
don't
ads.
show the
Yeah.
ads.
No, yeah, it's a
And I was like,
TyriaNow thing.
"Nerd."
Specifically on this channel. Everybody has to watch ads.
We could just all rail against Amazon for their marketing
Here's the
ways, I
thing.
guess.
Here's the thing, though. I enjoy their video service too much to rail against Amazon. Amazon, keep doing it.
I know. I
Perfect.
do. I do like their video service
Yeah.
and their
If I can
2-day
watch something on
delivery.
Amazon Prime, I will.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they still give you the nice Prime loot, which I still haven't really ever tapped into because it's usually for games I don't have. I think I've done it once. I was
You
like,
can't play Guild Wars 2 on Amazon Prime.
no, I know.
It just doesn't work that way.
No. Anyways, so Aaron, what have you been up to in game?
Just farming. I played a little bit of PvP. I
Why are
played
we
a little bit of
farming,
War for
Aaron?
World
Why are we farming?
because we're both broke because
We're
we finished
both
our
broke.
legendary armor.
We finished our legendary armor.
We
Yes.
did. Yeah, it's
The
done.
excitement. It's done.
I was done first.
You were done first, and I was like,
You were done.
damn
It
you.
was like what, like 3 days later? You did it. You
Nah,
got it.
it probably took me a good 5 days or something.
Yeah. It was pretty soon
Because I
after I
was
got
doing
my.
it one piece at a time, whereas you just blitzed it out one night. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't go that broke that fast. I need to try and
I
recover.
can't. It bothers me to do it one piece at a time because I think of the full legendary armor set as one legendary, right?
Hmm.
So I can't have like a fifth of a legendary just
Yeah,
hanging around.
I
It has
totally
to
went
be
for the fifth, the sixth, whatever it was.
for me to quantify my own account value in a way that is meaningful to me. I have to make it all at once.
So what is your account value now? Now that you've got
Um,
your juicy
I
legendary
kind
armor.
of don't want to talk about it because it's still pathetic. That's the thing.
Okay.
Is it's kind of still sad compared to like. So I had MMO Inks in my stream chat the other day,
Yeah.
and we were talking about account value, and he just casually threw out that his is like 270,000 gold or something like that. And I was like, oh boy, well, I won't mention mine.
Nah, I mean, I don't
It's not
even.
even a fraction of that.
I mean, I think it's cool that they keep track of this, but I'm like, at the end of the day, does it really? It doesn't make you a better player. You've got a
Oh, I'm
lot
a
of your
terrible player.
shinies. No, but it doesn't make you a terrible player. It doesn't just. It just means that you've got stuff on your account, which could
That's
be from the gem store.
that's all I have though. The stuff hunt is all I have because I'm not a good player, right? So all I have to measure my Guild Wars 2 value by is my accumulation of things, and I'm not even any good at that.
Dude,
For every legendary you craft, somebody else has crafted 10.
that's all right.
It's not.
I'm all
It's
right with that.
unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
So, yeah, so we're both broke and we're both farming gold up somehow. Um, Except I haven't been raiding much this week because I've been busy with work, and then usually I've been getting home super tired. So, and migraine. I've been dealing with migraines for like a week.
Hmm.
So I didn't raid much this week because, you know, my head.
Yeah, I haven't been doing as much silver waste as I would have liked to, just because groups don't run that often for it anymore.
That's kind of
So
surprising.
I don't know what people do now, honestly. I know some people still do the leather farm, but that's not super popular. Some people still do the elderwood farm,
Mm-hmm.
but that's super passive. Um, but yeah, it's kind of hard to find silver waste groups at this point, in LFG anyway.
Yeah.
There, like a lot of times, what will be happening is there's one running, but it's full,
Right.
and you can't get into the map, right? And so you need an LFG to get
I
into it.
I was making pretty good money off of the hot metas.
Yeah, everybody does those as well.
Career and Tangled Depths is what I was doing because I was
Those are
looking.
really nice for the amalgamated gemstones too.
Yes. Well, I was having
Base.
to farm up chalk eggs for my legendary armor because I was doing the raid one, PvE one,
Hmm.
which was 5 per piece. So I was living in Tangled Depths for a good couple of days.
Well, because if you think about that, you can get a free amalgamated gemstone from
Hmm.
each hot meta.
Yeah.
That is 4 amalgamated gemstones a day.
Yep.
You could have your legendaries worth of amalgamated gemstones done in under
Did
two
you need
months.
to use yours? Did you need to? Blah, blah, blah. Let's try that again. Did your legendary armor require amalgamated gemstones?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay, mine didn't either.
Yeah, no, they're for Gen 2 legendary weapons, is what you need them for.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's not fun.
No, no, but of course now I'm thinking it would be nice to have another legendary weapon, and then I'm thinking, are you insane? Because um, you just finished this and are poor.
No, that's when it's time to start saving for the next one.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
just saving for Living World in general. Like, you never know what you're going to have to spend gold on when a Living World drops.
Yeah.
So I don't like to go into Living World episodes broke.
Yeah,
So I'm trying
and
to.
even though they haven't announced it, they should be coming up with another. We should be getting the last Gen 2 legendary, no? With this last
Yeah, we'll be
episode.
getting the Great Sword. Yep, Great Sword should be coming out.
They've got a lot to live up to with Eternity, Twilight, and
I think I
Sunrise.
think that it's just going to be very different. Like, so you have the
Yeah.
whole like magic blade thing going on with the originals, right?
Hmm.
I think it's going to be a completely different thing for whatever they come up for this.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to
obviously.
get it. I don't need it for anyone. My 2 characters that I use Great Sword on, Sunrise and Twilight, work perfect.
Oh,
So
that's right. You've already got
I don't have Twilight, but I'm going to make it.
Twilight is so nice.
It is. I've
It's
always
so
wanted it, but
pretty.
I never used Great Sword on a character that I needed it on. And now that I use Great Sword on my Ranger, Twilight kind of
You
works.
use
So
Great Sword
now I
on
got
your
to
Ranger.
craft
What are
it.
you running? What is this?
Sikkim, Soul Beast, Roamer,
Oh, right. Okay.
Great
Yeah.
Sword, Longbow. Yep. Big, big, big deeps.
Yeah. The I use it on my Reaper, cause Reaper.
Yeah, but my Reapers and or my Necros and Asura, and that doesn't really work with like a big
Yeah.
Great Sword. So
I mean, I know Twilight would be that big.
yeah,
I
no.
know.
So yeah, it'll be on my Ranger.
Hey, kid, what's going on?
Welcome to the podcast.
Yes. Right. Well, we got a crap ton of things to get to because ArenaNet has just been doing a lot of things.
Very many things. Yeah.
Very, very
Yes.
many things, and things done without making a big um, fanfare. Let's say, and people have just been finding it and posting about it on Reddit.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so do you want to just jump in on this bad boy? Because we got a lot to get through this week.
I mean, so one thing there was fanfare about, probably the biggest news, right, is the Skyscale reveal. It's been a
Yes.
couple weeks since it, but it was like right after our last show they put
Hmm.
this out. They
Yeah.
did it through Eurogamer. They always do their reveals through press outlets, so that's pretty normal.
Hmm.
But yeah, they did a whole developer interview on the newly revealed Skyscale flying mount.
It's going to be a
It's
dragon.
Yeah, it's going to be a dragon, which is, that's really cool, right? Who doesn't want a dragon mount? Come on, who
I
doesn't
mean,
want a dragon mount?
no, it's not that I don't want a dragon. It's that they've gone and killed off my dragon, and now I'm like, what? You're giving us a dragon? Why couldn't we just bond with Aurene and ride her into the sunset?
Well, that's why, and I like this has been a meme like ever since day one of this, but like,
Hmm.
oh, now they're going to do the Aurene mount skin, right?
Oh,
Maybe,
you
who
know
knows?
it's coming.
Yeah. Like as corny as that would be, yeah, they'll do it, and people will buy it.
And
Hell,
people will buy
I
it.
might buy it.
I will buy
I
it.
don't. If it's 2,000 gems, I won't buy it. I won't lie to you.
If they put it in a Black Lion chest, I might get like 5 keys to try and get it, and if I don't get it in those 5 keys,
Oh, yeah, no, they'll
I
probably put
won't.
it in a Black Lion chest, and everybody in my Twitter feed will be like, "Good, I got it on the third key. What do you know?"
Yeah. I got
And
the Shrine Guardian, the nine-tailed fox one for the jackal. I got that on the fourth key.
that's a really cool one. That's
I
one of the
love
good
that
ones.
one.
Like,
Yeah.
I like a lot of the 2K mount skins, just not enough to spend 2K gems
2K
on them.
gems, yeah, me
If I'm going to
same.
spend 2K gems, I'm going to get myself another set of Infinite Gathering tools, my
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
So much better than any mount skin could ever be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the Skyscale is pretty cool. It's got a lot of neat features. Like they describe it as it's supposed to be more akin to a helicopter,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the Griffin is more of a fighter jet, right? So the
Right.
Griffin goes super fast in a straight line and stuff like that. And it doesn't really gain altitude very
Whereas
rapidly or very far.
this one does gain altitude and can climb a bit better
Yep.
than it looks like it. I mean, because you can semi climb with the Griffin. I'm rewatching the video now while we're talking, but
Mhm.
you can shoot out fire, which is kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah, the dismount attack is going to be breathing fire, which is
Fire
going to
breath.
be very, very cool. MMO Inks in chat, 3K gems. Yeah, dude, 3K
Oh
gems
God,
for
please
Arena.
no.
Why not? They can get away with it. It's Skyscale. Easy. They can
Yeah.
get away with it. But the thing that appeals to me the most actually is the cliff jumping.
Yeah.
So you can like attach to a cliff, you'll regain some endurance, and you can do like a leap to
Mm-hmm.
gain more altitude. And if you wanted to climb a cliff that way, theoretically, I don't know what the endurance gain is going to be versus what the leap cost is.
Right.
Theoretically, though, the way they've described it, you could just leap climb your way up a cliff.
Yeah.
So what I like about this is I like an all-purpose mount. I don't like having to constantly swap mounts. So this kind of, in a lot of scenarios, this eliminates the Springer. Like,
I think if it, I think I'd need to see it first, but yeah, it because the one thing with the Springer is that it can get you instantly up a thing in one big
mhm.
power leap.
I'd
Um,
rather I'd rather use the Skyscale if I don't have to swap mounts, though.
but if it's gonna be slower, I think you'll still be using the Springer.
No, I won't. That's the thing. Is if I can, like, I ride my Griffin pretty much exclusively, right? And if I
Yeah.
can get up somewhere with the Griffin, even if it takes longer, I will do it on the Griffin because I don't want to swap mounts. I like, I
You
do.
are so
I,
weird.
I like to spend that time like jumping and flapping and then landing and then jumping and then flapping and then landing. I do that on my Griffin, 100%. The thing that people, the theory that people threw out that I probably actually buy into that's going to limit the sky scale
Hmm.
is I bet the cliff latching is going to only be in specific marked locations for it.
I mean, they did the roller beetle thing that it can smash
Yeah,
through doors thing, and it doesn't. It's like,
and
okay,
you can do that in
where
maybe
often
six
can you
spots.
do that?
Yeah, and I
The
think the
map?
sky scale is going to be the same, just
Yeah.
because like any rock face in the game is modeled differently, and having universal collision interact with that would be kind of hard to make, I think. So yeah, I would go out on a limb and say it's probably going to be limited to specific locations. Probably a lot in the new map and the maps going forward, but that cliff climbing thing might be kind of useless
I don't know.
retroactively.
Yeah, it'll. I think until I see it in game, I'm gonna reserve judgment. I mean, it sounds cool, the
Hmm.
whole the rock face thing, because it just sounds cool.
What do you think? What do you think the acquisition process is going to be? They haven't said anything about
I think
how.
it's probably gonna be like something like the beetle.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think it's going to cost any money?
No.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's going to cost any money either, but I think it should.
Why? Because the griffin, just
Yes.
pure because
Yeah.
because they made you pay 250 gold
What
for that griffin.
what about the Griffin makes it like what is different about the Griffin that makes it cost 250 gold versus the other mounts not costing that?
I think
It
until
can
I
fly.
see what. Yeah. No, I get what
It
you're
can fly.
saying
That's it.
because the thing that I kept hearing them say is that, oh, this is going to be different because of the way that it can take off in the air. But the video seemed to show that it can still fly straight.
Oh
It
yeah.
can launch up. It can gain height upwards in the similar way that looks very griffin-like.
Hmm.
Um,
And it can gain height better than the Griffin can.
So I need to see like why basically. Because for
So,
example, if this is going to be easier to get, um, say like on my alt account, where I'm still unlocking mounts because I don't play it all that often. Why am I going to spend the 250 gold there to get a griffin if I can unlock the Skyscale for nothing?
well, if you're, it depends on if on how much of a nub you are, right? So, and that's really mean to say, but so like,
Define this because I don't know where you're going with this.
so like, if you're a nub who isn't really playing this game super seriously, you're like, oh, the sky scale is free and it flies and it can climb stuff and go up high. I'll just get that. I don't want to get the Griffin. But if you're actually playing this game and you care about it, you're going to be like, well, I need to get the Griffin because I have to have all of them and I need to get max masteries and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
that's kind of, it's like, it's a mount like this is kind of what separates the nubs from the not nubs, right?
I would say I would probably use the word more casual than nubs because I don't think that not going after a mount has anything to do with your ability to play the game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's
but
just your desire to unlock the mount.
let's be honest though, if you don't have the Griffin,
No,
kind of a
stop.
nub. This podcast is not noob friendly, is it?
Oh, okay. You're not noob friendly, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
It's no, it's actually true. It's actually true. You're talking to the guy who runs a Twitter account exclusively dedicated to bashing nubs.
Yes, I know. Moving on.
No,
But
but I here's
yeah,
the thing. I think
yes,
it should cost money, and here's why. I think A, it flies.
yes,
B, it is a dragon, which is pretty cool, right? I
yes.
think that sets it apart from everything else. It should cost some money. Um, and this is a living world finale item, and I think that makes it a bit of a bigger deal than the other items. So I think those three factors mean that this should have a pretty significant gold sink to it, but I don't think it's going to.
I don't think they're gonna do it though.
I think they're going to give it away for free and have a collection that you can knock out in 20 minutes, and that's it. But
I
I
don't know
think it should
about
have
20
more of a gold.
minutes, but it'll probably
You
be
could you could
along the
literally
side
do
of
the Beetle collection in like a half an hour.
if
Uh,
you've done the other, if you've done the rest of the map stuff,
yeah, which I did before I started the Beetle collection,
right?
so I got it done very quickly.
Well, you did, but the
Mm.
vast majority of people probably didn't get it as quickly within 10 minutes.
I know it's still though like a few
No,
hours max
it's
for
quick.
the
I'm not
Beetle.
saying that
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not
yeah.
trying to give you a hard time, although I am maybe a little bit.
I I just think it should have a good gold sink attached to it, but like I said, probably not.
It probably,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think that it will.
Hmm.
I mean, I had the whole gold sync aspect of the Griffin really annoyed me. Um, because all you were really doing was getting a valueless thing, not from a vendor just to unlock the next piece of the collection. And it was like, okay, so you're just really wanting us to spend the money when it doesn't actually,
You're
it's
evaporating
not
25
necessary.
gold
It's
from
not
your
necessary
inventory.
for the actual functionality of the Griffin itself.
Yeah, but creates a wall. Creates a wall to keep the nubs out.
Except that everyone goes after it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you have to get 250 gold to have it, so it's an
Yeah,
acquisition. It
but it's
makes it
not
an
like
acquisition
250
process.
gold is that hard to get in this game. If
I
you play
mean,
the,
then
if
it
you
should
play it.
then it shouldn't have bothered you that much.
I was annoyed because I'm like, you know what? I could be spending my 250 gold on something else.
Exactly, and that's why it's worth it.
It's not an amount that I actually even use all that often. I still use the Raptor more
The Raptor
and
is technically faster, but
the Jackal.
The Griffin is so all purpose. That's what I love about it. It's so versatile.
If it
I
stays
use
up in
it.
the air.
I use it for 90% of my traversal. I really do. It's easily the best mount.
I do that with the Raptor mostly, 90% of the time. Yeah.
With the Griffin, you never have to swap unless it's like a Springer specific thing. That's the only time I have to swap is like for Springer
I
stuff.
find myself losing height so much that I get pissed off. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just say it'll go on the ground.
I don't know. I love my Griffin, so I think I'll like. I think I'll
I
like the
don't not love
Skyscale.
my Griffin. I just wish that it would stay airborne a little bit longer.
I will say I was disappointed at this mount reveal though, and the reason for that is because we already have a flying mount.
Yes.
and be a very vertical mount in the Springer. So
Yes.
I feel like
So now
those
we've got a
like
vertical vertical flying mount.
obviously the Skyscale is going to expound upon those areas, but ultimately we already have those areas filled in as far as traversal mechanics go. I would have much rather had an underwater mount um, than another flying mount.
Ride a
I
water
know
dragon. It's
I
gonna
know
use the
most
anti.
people don't care about underwater stuff, but I feel like it's the only area where we have nothing right now as far as
There's
mounts
a
are
lot
concerned.
that we don't have for underwater.
I'm just saying, like, I wish we'd have gotten an underwater mount. It would make
And maybe we will one day.
it
I
would
don't
make
I don't
people
know.
doing Corteria stuff have a little bit of an
It would
easier
make
time. I
people
don't know.
bitch about having to do Corteria stuff for an underwater mount, even though they'd go after it because of being completionists.
Yeah, no, but who wouldn't want like it'll make underwater better. Come on, it'll make it
How?
better. It'll make so when you're doing winter berries, right, and you got to do your daily magic gatherer, the best place to do it is underwater. You could do it so much faster with a mount. Everybody winter berry farms, all right? Listen to me, guys. Sound like a traveling salesman. What
Yes.
does everybody do? Winterberry farm.
Well,
The thing about the underwater mount is
yes.
it can still be a dragon. It
It
can still be a
probably. I
dragon.
mean, what else would it be?
We
Unless
got
you're going to drive ride on the back of a dolphin that
I
doesn't
mean
exist in
I
game.
mean they just invented the Springer out of no or not the Springer. Well, Springer
Yes, the bunny. Because
and the
bunnies are
Skimmer.
Tyria. What?
Like Springer and Skimmer, they literally invented those for no reason. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
so they'd probably just do the same thing with an underwater mount. And also dolphins do exist in game. You play as a dolphin in the underwater
Oh, that's
fractal.
right. That
Yeah.
fractal that I
Yep.
hate. But yes, okay.
Yeah. So I wish we gotten an underwater one, but this one's probably going to be cool, and I wish it would cost money, but it's not going to. So that's kind of my opinion on it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? No. Moving
I
on.
think I think we covered it to death.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Other things that they were also at did were they at Res EGX last show?
Yeah. We
Okay.
talked about it. Yeah.
Never mind then. Um because that's when we got right. That's right. That's when we got the whole episode 6 thing was coming. So, other things. Now here was the thing that I had kind of semi predicted on the last episode and then we got like 2 days later.
Yes.
The All or Nothing Requiem story. I'm
Yes.
so glad that they finally updated this again. So Zafira, what did you read it?
I did. Yeah. Well, I didn't read it. Wooden Potatoes read it to me, which I think is a more like a better way for me to
It's the
experience it.
audiobook experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I would highly recommend it. He's very good. He's a very good
He's got a good narrative voice.
yeah. It's a very good experience.
So did you like it?
I did, yeah. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
What did you like most about it?
I liked like I like character origin stories for the first for one thing. So I've liked both of these. I mean, I know I complained about Ritlock a little bit, but I did like the story. So I've liked both of these because they're kind of both origin stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really cool that Zafira like used to be like a total like she is a badass now, but she used to be like ice cold, like a like
Yeah.
an assassin. Like that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool, dude.
Out of necessity,
Yeah,
out of
she's
sheer
like
necessity.
she's like the Jason Bourne of Guild Wars 2. Like, dude, she's
That's
cool. She's cool.
yeah.
I really like that. Yeah, so I really like that aspect of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the whole like, oh, then I found Balthazar was just like
I
that
think
doesn't.
that part needed to be developed a little bit better to be a bit more believable. I liked that they brought in the whole um, Zation priest to try and kind of explain it to her. Um, but I probably needed a little bit more exposition on how she actually connected with that because I got the whole like, well, that he was explaining things that I'd always thought. That's great, but that doesn't. From there, you don't go to I'm gonna follow Balthazar and be a worshiper of Balthazar, not just a
Yeah,
devotee.
and
That was the leap that kind of was like, wait, we're missing
well, and
here.
also like Wooden Potatoes mentioned this in his video, but I noticed this right the first time when he was reading it was they just kind of casually mentioned Balthazar showing up to the Zacian.
Yeah,
and then just move on, and
Yeah.
they don't
It's
like,
like, wait,
and like that's a huge deal.
that is
Like
a huge thing.
that's a
Yeah.
very like that's a scene that you should have constructed
For the
and
expansion.
labored upon,
Yeah.
right? Like even just in the story, like that is a scene that you should have set, painted a picture, and focused on,
Yeah.
right? And instead they were just like, yeah, when Balthazar showed up, it was really weird, and then moving past that, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, back up.
Yeah.
That was interesting,
That was
So
interesting. And I wish that we'd gotten a little bit more of,
yeah.
we'd gotten more of that basically because we didn't. We just, in the Path of Fire story, we heard that he was going after the Forged, that he
Hmm.
was finding alliances or whatever, but it never really mentioned that he was seeking out his devotees. And
Well, and
that kind of makes sense that he would.
mhm. Oh, and I think it mentioned in the story that she was like, "Oh, I knew something was off when Balthazar showed up," right?
Hmm.
Rather than them just saying that, like, describe it to me.
Right.
Tell me what about that encounter
Yes.
made you think that something was off? Because, like, that's like our experience. The Guild Wars 2 player character with Balthazar has only been maniacal, crazy dude, right?
Yes.
So understanding from a follower's perspective what about him was different from the Balthazar, like the god Balthazar,
Right.
kind of gives
Because
you some really good development on Balthazar's character. Like it's interesting. I don't know.
yeah,
And
I
they
mean
kind of gloss
she
over it.
they did have her emphasize that he was the one who gave her purpose
Yeah.
um
And
to her talent. And she
mhm,
emphasized that, she repeated that quite often in the story. So for that to go to, wait, something's a little hinky.
mhm,
Um what's hinky?
yeah.
Yeah, we
And
need
then
more development
I
there.
also feel like Zafira is somebody who flip-flops loyalties like very easily. Like
Hmm.
she fancies herself as like, oh, I just want a family. I just want somebody to like have my back and to be part of something. But she's constantly flip flopping to the next thing when one thing goes bad. Like she doesn't stick with anything.
Yeah.
And I can get leaving the Hamasine, right? Like they kind of pressed her into service, you know.
Yeah, it
So I
feels
can
like
get
she was
that.
just loyal to them out of
Yeah, but
survivalist, basically.
and she volunteered to join with Balthazar's people, and then when Balthazar was a lunatic, she was like, "All right, moving on," which I can get, but also like you probably had friends there that you like abandoned, you know.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You just okay, so you're not cool with Balthazar anymore, but you could have like tried to start something new with those people that you were loyal to, but instead
Hmm.
you're just like nah.
Right. And
And
she
I
hooked
think
and she
if
hooked up
I'm
with
not,
the commander because the
yeah,
commander was the god killer and
well, if I'm not
screwed them.
mistaken, and I don't remember, I read it the one time, right?
Hmm.
I think group like a good portion of the people that she was in league with in the Zaishin died, I
Yeah,
think.
I think so.
But you'd think there would be more Zaishin out there still, right? Like I don't think all of them in the world died,
No.
right? So I don't know. You'd think that she'd still try to salvage something from that order
Hmm.
as a whole, but she kind of was just like, well, bye then.
Well, wasn't it in episode one, I want to say, of this season that you go into Divinity's Reach and the priest of Balthazar there basically attacks you because you killed Balthazar? Was
He
that
doesn't. No, that's. I think you're thinking of episode 6 of season 3. Um, that's no episode 5. I think.
okay?
No,
I'm
episode
remembering one,
because
but
I
yeah.
played this on stream for Guild Mag episode 6, and I remember when
I
you
thought I
walk
played
into
episode
the.
6.
No, I did.
Okay.
Me and Sherry did.
Oh, you
But
know
when
what?
I
We both did actually.
yeah, when I
You did
showed
an
up
afternoon stream. Yeah, yeah, never mind. Okay,
yeah
good. Mhm.
into the temple in
Mhm.
that episode, the lead priest there is like ornery at you, like he's
Yeah.
aggressive. So I think that might be what
Right.
you're thinking of.
That's probably what I'm thinking of. I'm getting my
Yeah.
stories confused.
Yeah, I don't know. I found Zafira's motivations kind of conflicting with how she acts, I
Mhm.
guess. I don't know. And then Irene dies, right? And she's like, "Well, what do I do now?" She seems to constantly be looking for an excuse to leave and go a different
And I
way.
think that's probably because she's never felt safe
Yeah,
um
probably.
ever since she was a kid.
Hmm.
Um
And chat says they don't have a problem with her jumping around because her character seems like more of a follower, however badass she is.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Yeah, she seems to be constantly looking for a leader. Um, I don't know. I feel like, and maybe it's on purpose. Maybe one of
Right.
her character flaws is supposed to be like she doesn't know what she wants.
Right.
Like she keeps thinking she does, and she keeps
She
thinking she
needs to
finds.
follow someone or
Yeah, but
something,
ultimately,
some kind of ideal of
yeah,
some sort.
ultimately, she wants to be serving a purpose within something bigger than her.
Yeah.
And she says that in the story. She's like, I was finally part of something bigger than
Yeah.
myself, which is kind of a cliched line, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the chat might be onto something there. Is it's part of her character is just she doesn't know what she wants, but she wants something,
Yeah.
and so she's constantly trying to find it. So that's, I mean, I guess that's interesting then, right?
Which leads to the interesting conclusion where she's like, I'm gonna keep following the commander.
Hmm.
Which I'm
Yeah,
kind of like, really? Why?
yeah.
Because,
Like, where else does she have to go though?
yeah,
Like the commander's the one on the cutting edge of like the fate of Tyria. Going anywhere else and trying
I,
to do something else would just be ignoring like what's actively
I,
going
I
on.
get it, but the commander at this point doesn't know what the heck to do next,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I mean, that's why we got this sick posse though, so we can like have a campfire meeting and be like, "What do we do, guys?" You know.
Yeah.
So now Zafira can be a part of that, and then we've got the next episode.
Because I wouldn't even follow me. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm seriously thinking, like, the commander right now is in a bad place because it do- the commander doesn't know where to go next and how we're going to get to the commander figuring it out to
Mhm.
inspire leadership as a good leader ought to do.
Oh, I already know. I already know what's going to happen. We're gonna so the next episode is gonna start, and we're gonna get a little clickety click from Timey, right?
Of
And she's gonna
course.
be like, "Guess what thing I figured out that moves the plot forward?"
I would definitely hope that it wasn't Timey though, because Timey at the end of episode 5 was a bawling mess. And I think that they need to let that simmer and let her stay in that place for a while. Because one of the things that really annoyed me after she got, oh God, this was like back in season 2, I think it was, when she was attacked by the Inquest for running off with her waypoint device.
To be fair, they actually doubled down on that story mechanic twice. It's happened to Timey two times.
Yeah, and both times it's been like, she's like, oh, I'm so scared. And then, like, all right, I'm fine now. And it's like, really, dude, you're a kid.
Hmm.
An adult wouldn't be recovering that quickly, and you're going to recover that quickly? No. Give her some
Yeah.
time to have to process it in the same way that they gave Bram his
Oh my god, they
temper
gave Bram so
tantrum.
much. Here's the thing with the Bram thing. After it's all said and done, because it's over now, right? It's a pretty compelling character arc. They made you hate the guy.
Oh, absolutely.
They made you hate the guy.
Yeah,
Like
it was good.
pretty good work,
It was
honestly.
it,
Pretty
it
good.
was really good.
Yeah.
Could
And
Gorick be the guy now? I think possibly.
yeah, chat makes a good point that well, because I think Gorick has been the guy already on several occasions where he's buzzed us in and been like,
And
"Yo,
he has been dealing with the loss of his brother in a not as in your face way, kind of more like
yeah, he's
silent way.
kind
He's
of
been trying to deal with it.
yeah."
Um,
Because we meet him in episode 5, and he's just like, "Hey, you
yeah, but
know."
when you if you do the optional follow-up conversations with him, you get a little bit more insight where you see that he's not really doing all that well, but he's
Mhm,
trying to just carry forward, and it manifests itself as being a bit overprotective of Timey,
mhm.
which
But
is kind of
I
good.
yeah, but that's ultimate because like people always ask like, "Oh, what do we do now? Like, what X, Y, and Z? What happens?" And what I've resigned myself to is that if the developers don't have a clever way for the story to go, they will invent a MacGuffin that will fix the
Oh
story.
yeah, I mean it's a
Right.
video game, and you've got to do the formula story somehow to keep your story moving forward.
Yeah,
Which,
I'd like to think seasons 3 and 4 were a bit smarter with the story structure than they have been in the past, but you've also got episodes like season 3, episode 3 that was just nonsense,
Season 3,
right?
Episode 3. Remind me of that one.
Bitter Frost Frontier.
Oh, yes. That
Yeah.
didn't end well.
You remember? Do you remember in that episode where Bran became the first ever person to puncture the tooth of Jormag?
Yeah,
And
and that
became,
got
like, a legendary
abandoned
hero.
really quick.
Yeah. Do you remember how that went nowhere at all?
Yeah. That and E is another one that hasn't gone anywhere.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget
But
about E.
Zafira we liked. Zafira we
Yeah,
liked the
I
story.
did.
I would probably rate it like an 8 out of 10 just for a couple of the things that I think they could have developed better.
I mean, I couldn't have written a better one, so it's got a 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, despite all that, I guess I just complained about it for like 20 minutes though, so probably a 9 out of 10. It's cool though. It made me. These stories do get me a little more hyped for the lore in Guild Wars.
Yeah.
Like my interest in the story lately, as of like the last year, has really waned. I've kind of been like, okay, I'm more in this game for the gameplay and for reward hunting than for the story. But the stories have been getting me a little more hyped for the lore, like I
I've
used
been
to be.
doing I mean I've mentioned this before that I've been replaying the story and I started
You do
at
that a lot.
0. Well, no, just recently though I've been consistent, like not just, hey, whenever I feel like it. I've been consistently going through it and I've been going through it on Sylvari.
Hmm.
So I've gotten through on my main account through Heart of Thorns on Sylvari, which I had never done a full playthrough on Sylvari. And that made the Heart of Thorns story just a wee bit more interesting
There's a
from
few
that dynamic.
spots that make
Yeah,
it a little more
I
interesting.
liked
Yeah.
that. I did like the Sylvari aspect. So I haven't. The next thing would be to do whatever Living World season game after that. 3, 3
Hmm.
before Path of Fire. So that's where I'm at now. But I jumped onto my alt account this weekend because I didn't want to raid and didn't want to socialize. I wanted to just recover from the week of work.
Yeah.
So
So you play Guild Wars Story.
Guild Wars story on a Sylvari Elementalist. But now I'm through Claw Island and I'm ready to just jump into something else.
Claw Island. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, so yeah, but the story is. I like seeing how they pick up threads later on. Whether it takes a long time before they pick those threads up, I do like seeing it.
Hmm. Yeah, and like I said, these Requiem stories get me super hyped for the characters and for like all the. There's so much juicy stuff in these. Like I feel like they always have tended to hold back with juicy stuff,
Yeah.
and they're going kind of like all in with like putting juicy stuff in the Requiem stories.
Hmm.
Like they full on were just like, here's how Ritlock got that sword, right?
Yeah. Which
Here's Zafira's whole life. Like
yeah.
they're really not holding back with them, which I think is
So
cool.
and the next one we're getting is Kaith.
Which should be like the pièce de résistance,
It
right?
should. It should.
Yeah. Watch it be lame.
I mean, I kind of
What
want to
the-
know like what did she see in Fowlin, and then how has she been? Because
Oh,
she's another one.
there better be some Fallon stuff in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would imagine that there would have to be. Because how could you not?
Considering that they're just threw Fallon away as a character completely, still the most egregious sin they committed with Heart of Thorns. I don't have a lot of problems with Heart of Thorns, but that's my biggest one is that they took Fallon and they were like, look at this interesting character.
Yeah, we're just gonna make her into a fine tooth.
Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah, she deserved a little bit better. I do agree with that.
Oh my
Even
god.
Scarlet got a little bit better treatment, and that's saying something.
Hmm.
All right. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on. Do you want to mention anything about these current events before we jump into the balance patch stuff? Because
Yeah.
since it's
Like
continuation of story, it's supposed to be a bridge between last Living World episode and the next one coming.
I haven't played it. I'm sure there's some sort of NPC dialogue that is included in these events, right? But for the most part, it's just invasion events again.
Again, yeah, they seem to do a lot of these, and I kind of wish they would do something a little bit more interesting. I
Yeah.
suppose it's easy to refashion
Hmm.
existing things that they've got, assets that they've got, that they can just plunk it in and say, here you go, content.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I kind of wish that they would do something a little bit different than
They
these
have done
versions.
a better system, a better implement iteration on the system
Mhm.
here. in that when you complete, so these events happen sequentially in different locations across Tyria,
Yes.
right? So when you complete one of these, there's a port that
That's
ports you
how.
directly to the next
Yeah.
one,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I think that's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that is good.
It's not going to get me to do them, but it's cool.
No, but it is good because one of the things that the previous the invasions have had to deal with is that they were on a timer,
Hmm.
and it was always you'd see map chat being, "When's the next one? Where is it happening? Does anyone know?"
Yep. Yep.
And that got annoying really fast. So this is a good resolution to that.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to motivate me to do it. Like current events that I've loved in the past. Biggest one, Khaled Bulg reforging, right?
Yeah, that
That
was good.
was truly one of the coolest things they've ever put in the game, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Plus, you get a free ascended weapon out of it. Like, hey, but
Hmm.
and then also, I don't think it was really current events, but it was kind of just a cheeky patch. Those three weapon contest skins that they put
The
into the
designer
game a
weapon.
while back. Yeah, when they put that cheeky little thing in, it was like, hey, here's three collections. Just go get cheeky with these.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And then, but the whole invasion thing is just so boring to me.
I thought the weapons were going to motivate me to actually try them because I was like, well,
So,
current events, I got to do it, and then I forgot because
mhm.
whatever. But I thought that the weapons would motivate me to actually pursue them, and when I saw them, I think the Delphi previews must have been where I saw them, and I thought they looked cool, and then when I previewed them in game, I was like, meh.
Mhm.
The one thing that bothered me about the single-handed sword was that it seemed a bit more ginormous than when it was wielded than when it was sheathed, which that proportionality was a bit off-putting.
I don't know if I've ever gone into this particular rant. You know, I have so many rants, so I lose track. But like, I don't know if I've gone into this one on this show, but
I'll
my
let you know.
biggest problem, like this one-handed sword isn't bad in my opinion. I think it's all
Hmm.
right. I like anything with a knuckle guard, right? I'm really
Hmm.
into those. Um, but what I hate about one-handed swords in Guild Wars 2 is that, do I have something I can? Yeah.
Oh God, he's got a prop. Brace
So,
yourselves.
so if you're holding a weapon, right?
Yeah,
Want to hold it like this,
yeah,
okay? With a guild in Guild Wars 2 with one-handed swords, we hold them like this.
yeah.
And that bothers me so much. It bothers me so much. It's the worst. So yeah, every time they come out with a new sword, I'm previewing it, and I always see that, and it makes me remember how much I hate one-handed swords in this game.
Hmm.
All right, end rant. There
Okay.
you go.
Yep.
But the skins are okay. I don't really like the great sword. I like the one-handed sword. The scepter's all right, but I don't need any of them, and they're
Yeah, I
not
don't need any of them
motivating me
either, which is why I mean, I might go after it on my like second account or something, which means I should probably jump on it now while people are still playing them.
to do it.
Um, but yeah.
And also, there's some achievement points you can get out of this. There's like 10 or so. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. A low amount of AP you can get if you're an AP hunter.
So if you're interested, the Rift Soccer invasions are happening across Tyria right
Yep.
now.
Apparently, chat is screen grabbing that for a
Yeah,
new
for your
emote
main
for the
face.
channel. Fun,
Yeah.
fun times.
All right. So the big things we got some big news this week on things that are coming to the game, and the first is we're getting a balance patch.
Hmm.
I'm just glad that I one finished my legendary armor, and two that Mesmer's not really getting hit, so I don't have to worry about rebuilding all that much.
Well, you mean Chrono's not
Yeah,
getting
well,
hit.
Chrono, but the Mesmer
Mirage
shatters.
is getting hit.
Hit.
In PvP, the shatter change matters a
Well,
lot.
I suppose it could be,
It matters a lot in PvP.
but as a PvE player, I'm kind of like, oh, this actually looks a little bit better now.
So, do you want to talk about the Mesmer first, then?
I mean, we can if you want.
So
Uh,
Mesmer is having its shatter. A lot of, I don't know that it's all of them, but a lot of shatter traits are being reworked on Mesmer's. So like a lot of shatter traits right now, and I'm not like a balance lord, right? Like I haven't memorized all of this, but
yeah,
like a
it's
general
fine.
overview.
This is our disclaimer. We're not
Yeah,
theory crafters. We just like to play the game.
we're not balance gods.
No.
Like I played dual pistol scrapper in PvP for about 500 games. All right, this is who you're talking to right now. But so most shatter traits in Mesmer currently work like when you shatter,
Hmm.
this happens, right?
Yes.
Even though there are 4 different clone shatters or illusion shatters or whichever one you can
Right.
shatter, I don't remember.
Hmm.
Um, so now they're reworking shatter traits to be like when you use mind rack, this happens, and when you use distortion, this happens, and when you use I don't know what the other two are called, but when you use one of the
Concentration.
F2 or F3,
Hmm.
X, Y, and Z happens with those specific shatters.
Hmm.
So what that does is it cuts down on shatter spamming,
Yes.
which is one of the huge reasons mirages can just body people in PvP,
Hmm.
right? Because you'll have to actually think about what you're shattering at what time, right? So
Which
it
is
just
what I
it
mean. Which what in a sense what they're trying to do is make you guys better Mesmer players,
yeah, no, it's
which
great
is
because
a good thing.
it keeps the effectiveness of the class there. It's still a very
Yes.
good class. You just have to use your brain to make it so, which is exactly how you should do changes like this, in my opinion.
Which
I think
is
it's
how
great.
you should be. I mean, as a Mesmer
Yeah.
main now, this is how you should be playing Mesmer.
At least that's the theory,
Engage your
right?
brain and know when to use your shatters appropriately
Yeah.
for the
That's
scenario
the
that you're in.
that's the theory anyway, right? That's
Yes.
the theory behind a change like this. In practice, it could be like, no, you still just spam them out, whatever, right? Like it could be, I don't know in practice how well it's going to go over, but the theory behind it, I agree with,
Eh,
because they're trying to make you, because right now Mirage is very just spammable, right?
yes.
And
Even in PvE.
spamming Mirage can get you into Gold 2, Gold 3 PvP,
Hmm.
right? Now, is you're probably going to need to learn to play if you want to get into Platinum, right? But
You have
being
to
able to
you
spam,
have to understand what the purples do, like the
yeah,
Mesmers do.
like you probably shouldn't be able to spam your way into Gold 2, Gold 3, though,
Yeah,
right? Like
agreed.
spammers should probably be sitting around in Silver. So this is this is kind of a good change to kind of separate the real players from the
The
spammers
nubs.
on Mirage. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't use
So,
the word nub, but okay.
yeah, I mean, I overused it this episode.
It's all right. Um, the other, well, if we're gonna go back up now to jump back up, the general change, they're adding a new effect called Dark Aura,
Yep.
and they're changing things that give you auras. Essentially, they're just renaming them to actually be classified as auras, which makes sense.
There's
But
there's
this,
a lot of broadening here that I like.
yes. The dark aura, though, what I am excited to see is that it reduces incoming damage by 20%.
Condition damage
Condition
specifically.
damage, sorry. And inflicts 2 seconds of torment when you are struck. I like
Mhm.
this. Um,
And it's got a decent cooldown on the torment per attacker too. So it's gonna be like for a for a person who's already stacking Condi damage, extra torment is just nice, right?
yeah,
It's just nice. So
yeah.
can't hate on that.
No. I'm
And
gonna
that's
miss.
just like that's not any specific skill or class. It's just a new aura in the aura arsenal
Yeah.
that you can combo it with stuff. I don't quite remember what the combo is. It's something through Dark Field. Um, but yeah, you can achieve this with a combo. So anybody can do this.
Yeah. So being able to share it, which is hopefully going to be the effect as other auras are,
Hmm.
um, should be nice. I'm excited to take this out for a spin in
Hmm.
raids.
The next general change is kind of cool. It's one that my Twitch chat explained to
The
me.
block missile thing.
Yes. So current like up until now, skills that are labeled as destroys projectiles will counter unblockable attacks. So even if you throw an unblockable ranged attack, if it's a projectile and it goes into swirling winds,
Yeah, destroyed.
you're still out of luck.
Yeah.
So now they're changing all destroy projectile skills to block projectile skills,
Mhm.
which means unblockable attacks get treated much more fairly this way, which is a pretty cool change, I think.
My question would be if you're going to be blocking it, are they going to reflect back? Which
Then
they are.
it would say reflex
Reflects
projectiles.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, reflect and block are separate
Yeah.
in the
Um,
tooltip arena.
hmm but yeah, so I like this change.
Yeah.
I really like this change. I think it's going to be good. I have no complaints for that one.
Mhm. Yeah, I like it.
What do you want to? Which one do you want to go next? Since I jumped
I mean,
down into Mesmer.
I'm kind of excited about Elementalist. I play main hand dagger Ellie. I know that's not meta, but I do.
Yeah, it is. It can be.
Is it meta?
Well,
I
in
mean,
raids it can be.
I play both though. I play dual dagger.
I do dual dagger as well. On basic.
Do you do it in raids though?
No, on raids it would be like dagger warhorn on
Yeah,
Moon Tempest
I do
or
like dagger
Centaur.
warhorn,
Yeah.
but main hand dagger is getting some love, mainly healing buffs to a lot of the water skills.
Which is good
They,
because there is a good healing Tempest build right now in PvE that's for LA that's really nice. So that's just going to make it even nicer.
mhm.
Um, so
And then
it's,
they've reworked a couple of the lightning options on main hand dagger.
which is
Skill
good because
one.
it kind of needed them.
Well, they nerfed lightning auto attack a little bit. They pared the range down, so it's
Hmm.
a closer range. But it's
Which
still a
makes
nice.
sense for the weapon, though, in my opinion.
It's still a nice skill.
Yeah.
And then they've completely reworked skill two, and I don't remember what they reworked it to, but it's completely different functionally now. It's like an AOE now instead, because right now it's a cone.
Lightning touch. The skill has been
Yeah.
reworked and renamed Convergence.
hmm
Hmm.
Right now it's a cone that you throw at somebody. It does actually pretty good damage. It used to do terrible damage, but it does pretty good damage now. And then it's turning into like an AOE
Yeah,
zap
deal
that you
damage
can kind of do.
and
Mhm.
apply weakness.
Yeah,
It's
which
good.
is it's basically a better version of what the skill is now, in my opinion. So,
Hmm.
like as someone who plays a lot of main hand dagger Ellie, I like these
Yeah,
changes.
I've been playing a lot of LA this weekend and it's been fun. Uh,
hmm
how about NG? You've been playing a lot more NG, I think, than I have
Well, I mean, I
recently.
play a lot of NG in general. It's my most played character.
And you're doing Hollowsmith even now.
Yeah, I'm doing Hollowsmith, which means these changes mean nothing to me.
Oh yeah, they're doing more scrapper things here.
Yeah, because they buffed. One thing I will say, as somebody who played Pistol NG for years, is they're finally fixing poison dart volley so you don't miss 80% of your shots. So how poison dart volley used to work is it would fire your darts out like this in like this weird
Hmm.
trumpet
Yeah,
of darts,
right.
and half of them would not connect,
Not.
especially if you were moving.
Hmm.
Now it's just going to be a straight line burst stack, which is a lot better for people using poison dart volley. So that's
Yeah.
really nice. They buffed a bunch of the rifle skills. I don't know a lot about rifle, but they changed. So a while back on Engineer Blowtorch, the pistol offhand skill
Hmm.
got the same treatment that Blunderbuss is getting now,
Yeah.
where they make the range dictate the condition duration and not the number of stacks. So that's kind of cool. It makes it a little it like incentivizes using it at different ranges
Yeah.
more. So that's it kind of gives it some variation, and now you can use gyros underwater as well on Scrapper.
Yeah.
It's kind of
That
cool.
I saw. They keep trying to like throw some love towards underwater, and I'm kind of interested in where they're going to be taking it now that they are focusing more on Guild Wars 2 again, where they've
hmm
got more people on the game again.
Yeah.
Um, just because they did that whole underwater infusion thing that came out with the crate
Mm. Oh man, don't
thing that
even
was a
remind me how
compromise.
many new. I just changed builds on 3 characters. I got to get 3 new aqua breathers. I don't want to think about it. I got to have my swim infusions and my right stat combos.
Okay,
1,500 winter
I
berries
know
now.
this is your completionism. I
Yeah,
know.
it's 1,500 winter berries that I don't want to go farm.
I'm not gonna tell you how the state of the aqua breathers on my characters because
They're
a lot
green,
of
aren't they? They're green.
green is probably a good bet. Some are probably
Are they
white.
starter gear? They're
Some
starter
might have
gear.
starter gear still.
Oh no, the 8 armor aqua
It
breather.
doesn't it because you know what? It doesn't matter because what
I
matters is
mean,
your weapons.
here's the thing though. If you're underwater and you don't have a up to date aqua breather, you don't get your rune set bonus number 6.
Yeah,
Get yourself an exotic aqua breather so you can at least have your rune set
yeah.
bonus.
They would require me having to go into underwater for more than I actually do.
It's coming. Underwater's
If
coming. They
it's
put
coming,
swim
then I'll worry
infusions
about it
in.
then.
the swim infusions in. We got a skimmer mount, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's
Which
coming. The
the skimmer mount, which allows you not to swim.
the tsunami is coming, guys. The tsunami is coming. I'm calling it now.
All right. Um, so NG Guardian. And these are quick, guys. We're like I said, disclaimer is that we're not theory crafters.
Yeah, we're definitely
Um,
like we're not here to spend like 6 hours theory crafting this stuff. This is kind of like a general overview of.
yeah, if you want the good in-depth theory crafting stuff, Tea Time had it this afternoon.
Yeah, tea
And
time will
they,
have you covered on that.
yeah.
We're just here for mainly talking about story stuff. Let's be honest. So we like blow through the balance patch, and then we're like, all
No, it,
right.
so Guardian buffs to old core traits. Yeah, it makes sense that they're giving that some attention because
Yeah.
the Firebrand and Dragon Hunter traits were just so much better.
Mhm.
It made Core Guardian kind of sad.
Oh,
Um,
chat does make the point that the legendary aqua breather is coming next episode. Get hype! That's the end of the season. Legendary chat. So,
the
yeah,
only
get
the only
hype for
reason why I'd start chasing a legendary aqua breather is if they made an underwater raid, which is never gonna happen, and I needed it for like stat changing.
based on the feedback that they have for the underwater fractal, which no one likes, right? I don't
Hmm.
think they do an underwater raid
No.
because everybody hates that fractal.
Yeah.
I think you're right. That is kind of funny though. Legendary aqua breather. Imagine.
Oop. I don't know. It just fell. Uh, okay. Um, yeah. All right. So Guardian, core traits getting some attention.
Mostly damage buffs. From what I
Buffs are
read,
always good.
yeah, I quickly skimmed through the Guardian section. Lots of like damage increased by X% in PVE only, that sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
and like they said, there are a lot of old traits, like some weapons that are used a little less, like mace and stuff like
Hammer.
that. Yeah, which I know hammer gets a lot of love, like situationally as a DPS weapon, but
Yes. Yes.
it's maybe not as loved by the player base as like
The
sword.
change to right-handed strength. This trait. No, is that your mic? Are you tapping on your thing?
I was spinning something on my desk that I'll stop spinning.
It's okay. I was just like, what is that? Is that feedback? Is it coming through? I wasn't sure, so I was, yeah, okay. But right-handed strength, this trait no longer gives a flat critical hit chance. Instead, it gives an additional 80 precision plus an additional 80 power while wielding a one-handed weapon. That kind of makes me sad. But it probably won't, in the end, won't, will probably just balance out. Because that is, I'm trying to think if that's in the meta builds right now in raids. And I'm thinking that it's not, but it's a good trait for like open world if you're using sword or scepter on Guardian.
Gotcha. And chat is wondering why then there's an API key placeholder in the game for all three armor weights for an underwater breather. Dude, that's way above my nerd level. Like, I am not enough of a nerd to explain
It
that.
could very well be that it's something that got worked in, thrown into the client, and then
But
forgotten about, or that will never
or underwater aqua, like legendary aqua breathers are coming. Who knows? The point is, my neck beard was just trimmed, so I don't have the neck beard length necessary to dissect that question, and I apologize.
I don't know what that has to do with neckbeard. It's just a theory crafter thing, man. Stop insulting people. My God. All right, so Mesmer, we went through. For those of you who missed it, shatter spam in PVE is taking a hit. You're gonna have to use your brain now, to
Mhm.
figure out when to use the correct shatter in the right situation, which is what you always should have
But
been doing.
here's the thing though, like it's gonna like spam could still work with Mesmer. It just won't be as effective as like if you're do you play is DPS Mirage and raids a thing at all?
Yes.
Okay, so
Comedy.
like
Yeah.
so it'll become more situational in raids, and obviously you'll need to use your brain a little more in PvP if you want to have maximum effectiveness with your shatters.
Yes.
That's
It's
that's a good change.
it's
I
a
think
good
it's a good change.
change as a Mesmer player. Mesmer is a class that a lot of people a lot of people, let me rephrase that, that many people that come to me with questions about Mesmer is usually because they don't understand the class, or they think
Mm-hmm.
that it's hard, because they don't understand how it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, Mesmer makes a lot of sense because it's a thinking, it's a thinky class. You
Mm-hmm.
got to know when to use your stuff, in my opinion. Um,
Which is
so,
why I die on Mesmer very, very
which
often.
is why I never die on Mesmer hardly ever, unless I stand in bad for too long and my healers don't heal me.
I have maybe a couple hundred hours on Mesmer, and I'm never going to learn it.
When Condi Mez was a thing, do you remember that? And I gave you that build, and you were like, "Oh my god, I never have to shatter. This is the build for me."
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still don't shatter. I
yeah,
really don't. Like I play just Torment Stack Mirage now.
and it works, and it's
Chill.
fine, and it's fun,
It kills things very quickly.
very quickly. Yeah. All right, Necromancer is next on the list. What you got?
Yep, Necromancer. They buffed a bunch of weapon skills.
Yes.
Obviously, there's some minor changes to everything, but yeah, lots of buffs to like weapon skills on weapons that maybe like the weapon is used, but maybe these particular skills weren't super focused, like Locust Swarm and stuff like that. Um, some like duration adjustments, usually buffs. Damage adjustments, usually buffs. So good stuff there. Mostly core weapons, but I think Greatsword got some love too.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for some newly improved Necromancer weapon skills, y'all.
And Power Reaper, which was already players who know that necromancers are not bad at things, know that Power Reaper is a really solid place right now, and is
I
solid
don't think
DPS.
Power Reaper's ever been in a bad place.
I agree.
Ever since it came out, Reaper has been a
I
powerhouse.
agree.
Yeah,
And but you still have the, oh well, necromancer's not used for anything. Not true.
Necromancers. I won't say anything. You told me to stop insulting people, so I won't say anything.
So it's okay. I just insulted people who don't play Mesmer or don't understand Mesmer. And I'm very sorry for that. I wasn't trying to insult you. I'm just saying that it's a class that you have to kind of think through. But no, Necromancer, I always feel is like a misunderstood class, and I don't understand why, because it's a really good class.
hmm
And Power Reaper's just gonna be, I think, extra fun now,
hmm
with these changes.
Apparently, according to chat, the Soul Eater trait rework is a big deal.
Soul
Um,
Reader, the trait is being reworked and now increases the strike damage dealt to all foes within a range of 300 by 10%. That's a pretty big buff there.
mhm.
And it causes the Reaper to heal for 5% of the damage dealt to the foe. So that's pretty good. Not
But
like Reapers needed access to more healing. Thank you,
it
but
no longer reduces Greatsword cooldown, which is overall that's a hit to DPS, right?
yeah.
I mean,
But
a lot
is
of your
it worth
DPS is in
taking?
Shroud anyway, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't like how often are Greatsword Reaper. I mean, what else do you play in Reaper? How often are Reapers using Greatsword versus Shroud? Right?
I mean,
I don't know.
you want to get into Shroud.
Yeah, I don't play Reaper, so I don't know how relevant the weapon skills actually are. Because, for instance, I started playing Hollowsmith recently, right, where your weapon skills literally don't matter
Hmm.
for the most part. So, like, is it that sort of a situation, or are you using your greatsword skills fairly frequently? I don't know because I don't play Reaper, right? I skipped straight to Scourge.
Oh, you
So
did,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. So I have no experience with Reaper at all. But
I
the reduction, like off the top of my head, I know I would rather have my reduced recharge trait than than a minor damage buff. So that's I don't know. I don't know.
I was trying to pull up because I don't have it memorized, the Power Reaper meta build right now, and the API is apparently still borked. So that's always fun.
hmm
Um, yeah, because I don't remember if it's in the meta, at least on PvE,
hmm
that trait, but I just don't remember.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean the greatsword skill reduction. If you're going to be camping greatsword, sure it could be a.
but I don't think anybody camps greatsword. Reaper's all about the shroud. So
Yeah, I mean
I
you
can.
can. I mean, and when you're not in shroud, if you're up close, you do want to use your greatsword skills, but
Mhm.
your shroud should be regenning itself so quickly that you're just going to go back into shroud.
Hmm.
As
So yeah,
as
I don't
social
think that's
media.
too bad of a trait change then. I don't think it's too harsh.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out in the wild.
Hmm. Ranger's big change to Druid, in
Big
my
change
opinion.
to Druid.
This is the second
Again,
balance
this is
patch
the
in a row
second balance patch in a
that's
row that
completely
Druid.
gutted Druid. Yeah.
I don't know that gutted is the right word on this one, but it's definitely a big change. And the
No,
big
it's not
change,
bad. I mean like just like rework, like a big
it's a
rework.
major rework.
I think the elite skill sounds cool, but I don't know anything about Druid.
So Glyph of Unity was the skill, the elite skill, and now we're getting a new elite called Glyph of where my God, where did it go? It's not Empire. Glyph of the Stars.
Hmm.
And Glyph of the Stars prevents allies from being afflicted with conditions. This is huge. And removes conditions already on allies at range. In Celestial Avatar form, it heals, prevents downed allies from losing health while being revived, also huge, and grants boon at range. The trick is going to be making sure that you pop Glyph of the Stars at the right time. So again, making the druids
Like
have to be thinking about when they're actually spamming their buttons.
so as somebody who does not, I've never even slotted Druid in my trait line once, right? I know nothing about it.
Okay.
That elite skill sounds sick.
It does.
It,
It
it
does.
is, right? Like I'm not crazy. That's a cool
No.
skill.
Yeah.
Okay, because like stopping down players from losing health, guys, PvP. Oh my god,
Yeah. I think I
that's a team fight swinger right there in
right, it
PvP.
can be, yeah.
Oh boy.
And if I would not be surprised if this gets changed for PvP.
That wouldn't surprise me either because
Because
it
this
sounds
one
super
looks like it might
overpowered.
just be really OP.
Yeah,
Um, on
is that for PvE only, or can
it
you?
doesn't say.
It doesn't say,
It
so you
doesn't say.
should be able to do it in PvP then.
Hmm.
That's wild. That's so wild. I can't wait to rage and break my computer over fighting druids in PvP.
Yeah.
I already kind of do. They're already annoying, and now they have this.
Yeah, and oh my God, the part that we didn't read was that it also grants boons at range.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
And then
I
there's
would
the
like to
coffee
see what
halting
the
coffee
range
play as
is
well.
going to be before getting mega excited about this, but yeah.
Question: what is the current A? What is the current Druid elite skill, and B? What is the best in slot elite skill for running support Druid?
PvE, it's probably going to be the spirit, nature spirit, because it can res downed players, 5 down now. It used to be 10 when you activated it, but it gives passive. I'm not sure remembering now if it's passive stability, because the water spirit is one that gives passive regen on activation now. Um, so you still want to have your nature spirit around. It's going to be though, I think
So
on.
people won't slot this over Nature Spirit for
I
raise.
don't. I think it's going to depend on the boss for raids at least in PvE. It's going to depend on the boss. Because I
Because
can see for like training groups or groups that struggle on things like Slothosaur, that this is going to be like a really strong skill
because them
in the hands of the right druid.
putting the halting down players from losing health in that is gotta be because they want it to directly compete with Nature Spirit, right?
Say that again.
So them adding that this stops down players from losing health,
Hmm.
that's got to be because they want it to compete with Nature Spirit, right?
Yes, I would say yes.
Okay.
And then Scion of Darkness, doesn't Blood Necro have the ability to stop down players from losing life? Yes, if they slot in Well of Blood, I believe, as
Sure,
they're
but that
running
doesn't
blood magic, but it's not going to be.
mean the skill's irrelevant though. Like
No.
it's still a good skill, you know.
No, and Well
It's,
of Blood can insta res your people.
mhm.
Um, if you're running a heal necro, a heal scourge, the barrier can also be huge.
But like when
Huge
you
hit
tack this
percentage.
elite skill onto what Druid can already do support wise, it's like I don't know. It sounds powerful to me. But like I said, I don't play Druid. There are a bunch of other Druid changes as well, though. Like chat just mentioned that Pet is
The
taking a
pet
nerf.
nerf is huge, and I can
Yeah.
see why they're trying to make pets on druid weaker. when the shtick for Soul Beast is that you merge with your pet and you've got increased damage dealing and potential.
Oh my god! Like
But mm,
Soul Beast is so stupid.
it really is. Um, I will need to see what this actually means again in the wild. Um, the let's see, the trade-off of the pet becoming a bit weaker than core ranger's pet as the focus on celestial magic means less time strengthening the bond. But what does that actually mean in terms of numbers?
They're like that's
Um,
like a lore justification for why this would work the way it
yeah,
does, but they haven't
yeah,
given us. Did they give us numbers in the actual balance
no.
posts? No numbers on what the
Pack
pet nerf
Alpha, the
means.
trait now grants its attribute damage, attribute bonus to condition damage in addition to the attributes it previously affected, which I think that's a Soul Beast trait anyway. And Poison Master is like a core. So the answer there is no.
Yeah, no numbers on
So
the pet.
I need to see what's actually going to happen because right now, druids running pets, are usually going to be doing some CC in PvE, with
Good
their
bar
pets.
break bar shredders.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I would. Yeah, when I played Core Ranger.
Rakkazel, the Wyvern,
Hmm.
Iboga is really strong.
Yeah, I
Um,
used those. Those were the three pets that I
Jacaranda
used on
can
my
be,
non-soul piece. Yeah.
yeah. So, oh, and then there's the Warthog that the Soul Beast can take. But
So I guess the is the pet effectiveness going to mean that their bar breaks aren't as effective
I
also?
don't know. I'm wondering if it just means that their straight, just like auto attack chain, is going to be weaker. So that the
Yeah,
damage
because
that they deal would be weaker, which makes some sense. But if it affects their break bar damage, I'm going to be a sad panda.
oh, chat says Druid the base attributes pets have been reduced by 20%. Okay, how did I miss that? Oh yeah, right there. The base attributes of pets reduced by 20%. Okay.
Okay, so it's going to mean for their damage potential.
Yeah. That's I mean that's
I
20%. I don't know. I don't know what that
mean,
means. Like I said, I don't play Druid or Raid, so I don't know what that means
so
enough.
there are some pets right now, like the Iboga, that can do a good chunk of your druid's overall DPS is coming from your pet.
Hmm.
Um, Especially if you're spec'd purely for healing. Um,
Gotcha.
so yeah, that it can be like, your pet can carry you sometimes, but um, yeah. I don't know. I still I still think that it'll be okay. Um, but yeah, I like where they're going lore wise with this. For the flavor to make it different from Soul Beast.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm definitely down. I don't play Druid. I probably never will. I'm having too much fun with Soul Beast, and I'm not really a support player. So I don't think I'll like this will make me swap to Druid at all. But it sounds like Druids might become a pain in my ass in PvP more than they are. Like Druid isn't super played in PvP, but it's got like a kind of a trolly niche, kind of like Weaver,
Mhm.
where you control really well on it by just being unkillable, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
So
and
that's
this is gonna, I
yeah.
think, make it even more so. So
It
I
makes it more relevant to like it's relevant to team fights and that it can pump out boons and healing and stuff.
yeah,
But that elite skill in PvP makes it to me makes it a lot more relevant to team fights even.
yeah.
So that's kind of because usually what I see druids doing in PvP, and I might just be in nub league, who knows? What I see them do is go to the far point and sit on it, and
Yeah.
kind of just troll. Whereas that elite skill, you want to pop that in a team fight. Like that's a team fight. Oh shit button is what
Yeah.
that is.
The
So
other major change to note with Druid is Glyph of Empowerment has been deleted. Glyph
mhm.
of Empowerment was a basically a power damage boost for the classes in PvE and your subgroup, in raids. So they're replacing it with the former elite skill Glyph of Unity, but Glyph
Mhm.
of Empowerment is getting reduced, re deleted, removed.
Yeah,
That's the word. And then Glyph of Unity is, it's increased its duration from 6 to 8 seconds, reduced the radius from 400 to 360. And what it would do is it would tether you to your enemy, and I'm trying to remember if it inflicts taunt or something, but it like transfers some damage while
Chat,
also healing
chat,
you.
chat saying that this is rest in peace, GG for Druid.
I don't know about that. I know that it is what it is doing because especially with the elementalist changes to the healing on dagger, it's making it, and also the changes to revenant, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. It's making other healing classes viable in PvE and
Can they
competitive.
also stack might as well as Druid can though?
The Boon Tempest can
Okay, so you
currently.
could have a new best in slot raid support.
You could. I mean, we've been running. Um, we've run a couple of where we'll just have a druid and a boon tempest, and might if in the hands of the right players, you don't have to worry about your boons.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess it's GG for Druid. Glad I don't fucking play Druid.
I don't know. I think druid will still probably be around. I don't think it's the death of druid yet,
Although
out of the meta at least.
I do play Berserker, so that'll be fun to talk about when we get to the bottom of
Hmm.
this.
So Revenant, which is where we're going next, is getting some base Revenant changes here, which, let's be real, needed it. Core Rev has kind of been in a sad panda place. They're getting an F2 buff that grants effects on based on the legends, which is neat.
Hmm. So
And the
F2 is basically
salvation,
becoming
yeah, go
like
ahead.
F2 is basically becoming universal for Revenant at this point, and it just changes based on your elite specialization. Which, sure, why not, right?
Why not?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't care about Revenant. Like it's the class that I just don't care about.
I remember when you used to play it a lot, though.
I played it for the Guild Mag map completion streams
Yeah.
just because I didn't have a map comp done on it, but it's my least favorite class
Yeah.
easily.
It's the class that I play the least for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
I just don't think I just don't think it really has an identity. Like there's not
I
you don't
agree.
look at Revenant and go like this is what a Revenant is. I don't know,
Yeah.
it feels shoehorned
I
into the
think
game.
the elite specs for it, Herald and Renegade, have more of identity, more
I don't
of
think
an
Renegade
identity.
has an identity at all.
Condi Renegade is pretty good right now,
I'm sure it's good, but I
though.
don't like it. I as a concept, I think it's
Okay, as a
conceptually
concept,
bankrupt. Yeah.
conceptually bankrupt. Okay.
That might have been harsh. That might have been a harsh way to put it. Renegade, conceptually bankrupt.
Ay,
Make
ay,
that
ay.
the episode
Yeah,
title.
I know, right? But the Salvation trait line is getting a rework, which should make healing off of that, so Ventari, better. Which Ventari's in a pretty good place as it is now as a healer, as I learned recently by playing around with it.
I can't stand using the tablet.
It's very janky. I still think it's janky, but it's got really good healing output.
I get that people play it well. Like I've seen people play it well, right?
Hmm.
I can't do it. The tablet is
The
too.
micromanaging of the tablet is annoying.
Yeah.
I will agree with you there.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, I guess
but
they just want to shake up the support meta. That's what it sounds like. The point of this balance patch is to shake up the
shake up the
support meta.
support meta, which is fine.
Because I mean, Druid's been best in slot for what, like
For since
years?
forever.
Yeah, years at this
Since
point.
raids came out in Heart of
Yeah.
Thorns, Druid has not fallen away.
Yep.
And it's been slowly kind of eked out, so that you don't have to, you don't really need to have two druids. It's a safety feature, but it's not like the best healer.
And then
Heal Tempest is still a better healer
numbers
overall,
wise, yeah.
but what keeps it in is the might stacking,
Hmm.
and what kept it in before that was um, Grace of the Land power damage boost increase before they changed it to the might stack.
Yep. And then Inks in chat says every patch has been slowly killing it. Yeah, the last two are the ones that I've noticed. Like I said, I don't know much about Druid, but from what
The
people have been
changes to the
talking about,
spirits from the last patch were really interesting though, because it does make you have to activate them to keep moving them around.
mhm.
So it wasn't like you could just set them out and then forget about them. You actually now have to remember them.
Yeah, it's kind
Um,
of like the Mesmer Shatter changes. They're trying to make you think more when you're playing, like as opposed to just AFKing a mechanic.
yeah, kind of
Because
interesting.
the whole point of what they would do, why they would do that in raids, right, is so you can just
It feels a
AFK
bit
your
uncasual.
entire. Yeah, So you can just AFK that entire aspect of your build and then focus on your skill rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
The piano gets a little more
Pressure buttons.
intermediate.
Pressure buttons.
Yeah.
It's okay. They do things. Learn what they do. It's good. Okay. Healing. They got some staff changes as well. It looks like healing. Warding rift. This is a warding rift. Is that a sword change? I don't even remember now anymore. This is how my revenant knowledge is very poquito.
Mine is 0. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
mine is
about
probably
Revenant.
1 or
I play
0.5.
Sword Shield Herald in PvE. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Moving thief.
Thief.
What do you got on thief?
Well, Thief is getting a big old Daredevil rework. Actual Thief players will know what this means. I I don't play that much Thief, right? I do play Daredevil.
I saw that Age was excited about this,
Yeah, Age Nightroad seems excited about this, and he's
which
my
is
Thief daddy, so I'm excited about it.
steel can now be traded to become swipe, which halves the range but becomes unblockable. This is pretty big.
Unblockable steel is pretty cool. 600 range steel is not so cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's more important to people, the range or the unblockable nature. I'm genuinely not sure because I don't play Thief, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. But I will say that unless you're playing Deadeye, you're probably going to be inside of 600 range anyway. So
Well, and Deadeye for rifle, which we've talked about, I think in the past, is
which
kind
you
of
wouldn't
annoying.
have swipe because it's Deadeye and not Daredevil.
Right.
So I think Daredevil being a melee focus spec,
Makes sense.
yeah, I think it's probably fine to have steel 600 range, and the unblockable is just nice for like PvP. Because people dude, you come up against a dragon hunter, right? Imagine. But so yeah, the unblockable steel is gonna be nice in PvP for sure. Pretty cool stuff. I think there's some other trait changes to it, but like I said, I'm not super up to snuff on thief stuff. Slight damage reduction on staff. But staff has been super OP for DPS for a while now. So, and it's really 6.5% hits to staff on the damage front. That's not that bad. And they give you a big old power boost too for the staff master trait. So it no longer grants a percentage damage increase, but you get 120 power and then an additional 120 power if you're wielding a staff. That's 240 power, man. That's pretty nice,
Yeah,
right?
I would think so.
So I don't know. Like, you're probably not going to see much of a change in staff DPS, right? I mean, probably minor, but probably it's not going to be a huge deal.
I think my power daredevils are going to be happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So
if they're happy and they keep bringing the deeps, I'm happy because I just need to support them with boons. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna. I think it just keeps it in a happier place. From what it sounds like. Again, not being the theory crafter and not being a thief main. So there you go.
Yeah,
So
it sounds like you'll still be able to hit. It seems like you'll still be able to hit things very hard with your staff. And chat says you will 6.5% on the first 2 auto attacks. I know I did mention that, but also you get a huge power bonus now. Like if you have a staff, you have a 240 power bonus. So I don't know.
So even though you're getting that
how relevant.
reduction, yeah, like how much?
I don't know how relevant that 6.5% is going to be. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Right, this is the one that you wanted to talk about. Berserker.
Berserker, yeah. I don't like. I had a war. So some of the warrior players in my stream chat were freaking out about this. I don't know that it's going to be that bad.
The warrior players that I've been running with, they're so excited.
Yeah, because it sounds like so they're changing the berserk ability. I don't like change, right? I don't do well with it, but I play berserker. But I feel like the way they've described this, I could get used to it. So berserk mode now has a cast time, and when you cast into it, it does a burst skill that like burns foes around you. Awesome, more burn stacks are always appreciated.
Berserker, man, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like can't hate on that. But your adrenaline skill no longer functions as a rage skill. It's just going to be a standard tier 3 burst skill for the purposes of traits. And then the Berserk mode seems to extend duration based on rage skills, which is kind of annoying to me because I don't take a lot of rage skills with Berserker.
So you'll have to be thinking about slotting them in if you want that extra.
Yeah, and I don't really want to change my utilities, but they add a lot of duration onto it. You get 2 seconds per skill, except one of them is 1 second, I think.
Right.
But you get a lot of extra Berserker rage time if you slot rage skills. So they're re-incentivizing rage skills, even though most Berserkers slot at least headbutt and the punchy rock one.
Yes,
So
the punchy
I
rock
mean,
one.
I don't know that they needed to. I don't need know that they needed to slot like incentivize rage skills even more, but
Mhm.
I guess they have. So it doesn't seem like your play won't be that different. I don't think. I think just the functionality of what you're doing is kind of improved. I'm not a huge Berserker player though, so I couldn't like dive into like the meat and potatoes of what this is.
Warrior is Warrior and Revenant and Thief, and the classes that I play the least.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So
Warrior is probably one of my less played. Yeah.
yeah, they're the three classes that I because I play the least. They're the ones that I understand the least, just because I haven't
Mm-hmm.
had taken the time to.
Inks, it should be renamed Punchy Rock. Yeah, the Punchy
Punchy
Rock.
rock skill. I like that.
Chat saying that you probably won't use Shattering Blow anymore. That must be Punchy Rock.
Makes sense.
Because Outrage will be better. I don't know what Outrage is, but I'm sure you're right.
Outrage. This skill no longer grants adrenaline. Instead, it grants Berserk by 1 second, or it extends Berserk by 1 second, and extends Berserk by 5 seconds if a stun is broken. And then
Oh,
Shattering
the
Blow.
Stunbreaker? Oh, okay.
Shattering Blow. No longer grants adrenaline. It extends Berserk duration by 2 seconds on hit.
Okay, so yeah, Outrage is better because you get 5 seconds out of it. And if you only use it as a functional Sunbreaker, yeah, that is definitely better.
Yeah,
Also,
Shattering Blow is
chat
a pretty good CC. But it
Also,
works.
chat saying that staff mastering currently gives you a 10% damage if endurance isn't full, and if it is full, it's only 5%. So, not sure 240 power will make up for it. 240 power is massive, if I'm not mistaken.
We're
Am I
back. Yeah,
crazy?
okay.
Am I crazy, or is 240 power a lot of extra
It
damage?
sounds like it's a good power to me, but
I
if
feel
you
like it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I could be crazy, guys.
could be, we
I
could be
feel like
crazy.
240. I feel like 240 power is heavy, but that's just
I think it
me.
depends also like where you use it.
Hmm.
Um, because if in a PvP situation, I could see where it could be a nerf.
Hmm.
In a PvE situation, I think it's where you're running your PvE.
Hmm.
Are you going to be in Fractals? Are you going to be in Raids? Are you going to be open world running open events?
Yeah.
Um,
And it's like for me, it's mostly going to be open world, right? So I mean, I don't even use staff, so it literally doesn't matter to me. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Daredevil changes are interesting. The Berserker changes, I need to play them because the way they read,
yeah,
I can't tell what they're going to feel like,
right.
you know. And I do play Berserker, so I will be playing these. Um, I'm down to change my utilities. I just kind of don't want to, but I will if I.
I mean, you're branching out. You're branching out into other elite specs now,
Yeah, if it's
which
super
is
relevant for me to extend that berserk duration, then yeah, I'll probably slot. I don't play headbutt right now. Actually, I know that's egregious to hear, um, but yeah, I don't play it, so I might slot it. Who knows? But outrage sounds nice. Would be a good stun breaker.
hmm
I like shake it off though because you get two. There's a two ammunition on
yeah.
shake it off, which is kind of cool. But I guess if you get good, then you only need one stun breaker. So I'll have to get good.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's those are the that's our overview.
Hmm.
Emphasis on overview of the balance notes.
Yeah,
Um,
like Ink says in the chat, I like to get my Taylor Swift on when I'm playing Berserker. Shake it off.
that's
Shake it
right.
off.
I think WP and Boots should be having a video coming out on this. WP promised that it would be out today. I haven't seen that it is out, but it may be out already.
I think he said in his video that it would already hit an hour and they had to stop. So it's
Yeah,
long.
they can get pretty
Yeah.
not long-winded, but very detailed. That's the word that's better.
Yeah, like we said, if you want like a real breakdown of these balance things,
Yeah, don't
check out Teapot, check out WP. They'll
yeah,
have
WP and
all the
Boots.
breakdown.
And just for you guys, hang on, I'm actually checking. to see. Do wooden potatoes. Just to see if it's out yet.
Oh yeah,
It is. No, it's not. He's got his still his Coliseum,
not quite.
so it's not
Gotcha.
out yet. So it'll probably be out in like a day or so.
Probably. Yeah.
I like listening to their videos on balance because they have the conversation
Hmm.
that doesn't feel too jargon heavy in a sense, I guess. And they get excited about things, which
I
makes
can
me
follow
get
it. Yeah,
excited
I can
about
follow it.
things.
Mm,
Yeah. All
for
right.
sure. But that was balance changes,
That was
guys.
balance changes, guys.
I'm sure I'm going to hear about all the things I was wrong about through the coming
It's
fortnight.
okay.
So,
Not theory crafters. We just play the game.
yep.
Uh, all right. Other things coming. PvP map updates.
Yes, these are kind of cool. Have you read up on these or checked out anything about them at all?
Yes, I watched WP's video this morning actually about
Gotcha.
Eternal Coliseum, which is a
Hmm.
map I don't think I've ever actually seen. But
Really?
you know,
It's
in
my
my 10
it's my
games of PvP, that doesn't really sound. That's
it's
not a
my
lot.
it's my most played map. I love that map. It's my favorite map.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
always
that's
liked the
all
idea of it
the
because
I
it's
vote.
supposed to be like a Roman Coliseum type thing. Isn't that the
Mhm.
one that has the crowds that you can hear? They'll cheer you on.
Yeah. It's a cool map. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. And basically, what they're doing to it is they're adding some visual differentiation between the two sides of it. This is a very identical map right now.
Hmm.
So, like when you're just playing, if you don't have like Jebro level situational awareness, you might forget what side you're on.
Right.
Right. I've done it plenty of times.
This sounds like a change that would be good for PvP nubs like me.
Yeah, no, it'll be the main thing
So I
I like
learn
about
more.
it.
Hmm.
The main so one thing, if you watch Wooden Potatoes video on this, one thing he points out is that he kind of liked how open and barren this map was because it incentivizes build changes.
Hmm.
So like you might want to flip to Deadeye or Soul Beast on or like Longbow Soul Beast on EC because you have a lot of space with which to pew pew people, right? Whereas on a more cramped map, you might swap to Boon Beast or Daredevil.
Right.
Basically, they're turning this into one of the to a more cramped map. Um, it's not going to be as there's not going to be as much dead space in it, right?
Right.
So they're adding some walls, they're adding some little crates that you can like jump up onto the wall. They're adding, X, Y, and Z thing, right? One side is going to get like hedges and stone walls. The other side is going to get like piles of building supplies.
Right.
And those are all basically things to kite on. I like this as I am a Boon Beast player, and kiting is kind of the name of the game on Boon Beast.
Hmm.
So I'm a big fan of this change, but I could see how, like, if you are big into Longbow Soul Beast or whatever, you might resent it a little bit because you can spawn camp really well based on how open the map is with long range players. But one thing Wooden Potatoes did point out in this video about this is you'll be able to jump up these crates onto the top of one of these walls. And that's like on Kylo. That's where Dead Eyes have their pew pew fun, right? Is
Hmm.
like Kylo's are a cramped map, but they can still have pew pew fun because you can jump up and like shoot
Right.
down.
Hmm.
And there will be a few spots to do this now on EC, which is so it's kind of it's sort of giving it the best of both worlds treatment where you've got some space for that type of thing to work, but you've also got a little more kiting options for like boon beasts and stuff now. So it's I like it. I always like kiting gaps, so I'm super down.
Cool.
Mm.
And then the other change that's coming is to Jin's Dominion, which will hopefully be moving out of beta. They're adding a wall to the spawn area between the two spawn points because they're right next to each other and people can kind of cross
Like
over and
yeah,
kill people quickly.
so I've never played this map ever, like
I
literally never
haven't
played it.
either.
But I did watch because I finished Wooden Potatoes video and he talked about this one also. And
Mhm.
apparently you can just come out and start fighting right away, like within
Yeah.
2 seconds of being out the gate.
Hmm.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I think I like this change that they're putting a wall there.
And then a hole or an opening will appear at after a certain amount of time apparently between in the wall,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess, so that you can, I guess, do that to use whatever. But um
Either way, I don't like engaging right. I like
It's a very small map. I
yeah.
was surprised at how small it actually is when he showed it off. Because again, I haven't seen it in game, being the PvP nub that I am.
Mm.
Um,
I guess
but
as
it's very pretty.
somebody,
It's a very nice looking map. But it's
so
got
I'm
those assets from
yeah,
Valkyria.
I'm somebody who likes to. So I play Boo and Soul Beast, right? I like to go to the enemy's far point and sit there. And it looks like, again, I've never played this map, so I don't know. But from what it looks like, I would have to cross through their run
Hmm.
to mid to get to that. And it's not a fun time, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't know about that map. I've never played it because I don't play unranked. But it doesn't really look like a map I'd enjoy right now. So I don't know if I'll be checking it out even with the wall up. Because I can't go. It doesn't look like going far is super easy on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say check it out at least once.
I'd have to
Just
play an
see.
unranked game though. Sacrifice pips. Sacrifice 15 minutes of Pippin. Oh, I can't. I got a pip. I got a pip.
um.
Pippin ain't easy.
Yeah. So those are the changes that are coming to PvP, which is kind of nice to see.
Mhm.
That game mode's getting some attention.
Ink
Um,
says it's unranked. That's why I don't know about it exactly. Yeah, the map came out with a patch.
Mithril Gambit, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, with the raid patch, I think.
Hmm.
But
Again,
yeah,
using the same assets, probably.
yeah, it's like you said, Inks. It's only in unranked, and who plays unranked besides people who don't have access to ranked. So
Nubs like me.
yeah. So once you have, and the reason I play ranked isn't because I'm good at PvP. It's because the rewards are
The
good.
rewards, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I play ranked. So that's why I haven't seen this map because
What
I'm
was
trying
my
to get.
rank again? We
I
we
think you
checked
said
this out
yeah,
in the
you said
pre-show.
10, rank 10.
That sounds right. I still got GW2. Yes, rank 10. I'm deer rank. Woo!
Nice.
I was rabbit for like ever, but
Alcar says Ajax plays unranked. I mean, he's probably got a lot more money than I do, though, right? So I still need to make like 10 gold, right? I'm at that stage of gameplay where I still get excited about 10 gold. So
yeah, I do as
I
well.
got
But
that's
I
why I
can
got
go
to play
run
that
hot
ranked.
metas for that, and I'll be
Yeah,
happy and
that's
fulfilled.
why I got to go play that ranked.
All right, and I'm mindful of our time here, Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, what do we got left? The trailer, right? I'll talk about the trailer.
We've got
We got it.
ArenaNet.
Yeah,
ArenaNet is doing some advertising, guys.
yeah. They've been hitting
They're
it hard.
trying to get new players in.
11 million strong.
11 million strong. That's us. So they had this CGI trailer that looks kind of like it could be Guild Wars 2, but it doesn't look like anything like the art style for Guild Wars 2. Um, which the speculation is that it was reused from one of these now shelved projects,
The
and
amount of
repurposed.
the amount of speculation about this trailer.
Oh yeah.
Here's you want to know a crazy theory? I have a crazy one. I have an insane one.
Okay.
So one of the theories about this trailer is that it could have been for a mobile game that they were developing that has since been
Oh
shelved.
yeah,
Right?
which is why the emphasis on the shiny weapons.
Here's a
Even though we all know that shiny weapons is kind of what happens now in this game.
here's a wild theory for you.
Hmm. What is
What
it?
if the mobile game is done? What if
And
it's
actually
done?
coming still.
Yeah. What if it wasn't shelved? What if it's done?
Yeah. Hmm.
That's why
It's
they
not
put
a,
out all these ads.
it could very well
Yeah.
be. The thing with if they were actually to release the mobile game is if there was going to be some kind of linking, to link progression
They would
up
have to they would have
between
to
the
incentivize.
desktop version and the mobile, then I would be like, okay,
Oh,
I
they would
might
have to
check it out.
incentivize. If they've learned anything from Blizzard, it's to incentivize this game with our other game.
Hmm.
That's
So
just. But I mean, that's like a wild. I don't really think that's. I don't think they have a completed mobile game. It's just who knows,
I don't
you
know.
know.
You never
But yeah,
know.
this trailer's weird. It's
The,
weird.
the art style on it is very,
It's not bad.
you
It's just
know, I mean, the exaggerated Yoda look in Azura is a bit 2012.
it. It looks it's 2007 is what it is. It looks like an Eye of the North Asura. It looks
Yeah,
like a Guild Wars One Asura.
right. Like, so that
But
was the
you
thing
know,
that caught me. I'm like, oh, okay. And
and
then
the
the
like
emphasis
the
on the
weird,
shining weapons when I was like, well, yes, we do have shiny weapons.
yeah,
Um,
how everybody has lightsabers. Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
yeah.
It looks fine. It just doesn't look as good as Blizzard cinematics, and that's what everyone's going to compare it to, and that's why everyone's like, "Oh, it looks terrible," because it doesn't look like Blizzard, right? It
Well,
looks
I mean,
okay.
and we've gotten CGI trailers for the game in the past that looked quite good, and this is
I'll
not
be
one.
honest, the Guild Wars 1 CGI trailers look better than this trailer do, and those came out 15 years ago.
I just don't
so
know. But
so yeah, I'll
but
I'll
again,
I'll
the
admit it looks bad. It looks bad.
and the audience, the target audience, is obviously not us,
Mhm.
because it's obviously targeting trying to get in new players who come join
Well,
the
and
11 million strong that we are.
when I first saw this, so first of all, like that 11 million strong is obviously the accounts created to date, right? It's not concurrent players. But one thing I thought about with this game is this is one of those things that you're probably going to be seeing in a little window on the side of your YouTube video or in a little window through your Facebook feed,
Yeah.
right? Most people that this ad is aimed at are not going to be seeing it full screen. So the CGI is going to look quite good
Hmm.
in a tiny little window.
You know what it reminded me of, and I think I mentioned this too when it first came out, when we started talking about it, was that it looks very much like an NCSoft
Mhm.
production
Yeah, yeah,
for
definitely.
like Ion. It looks like an NCSoft trailer rather
Hmm.
than an ArenaNet trailer.
Yeah, and with NCSoft stepping in recently,
Makes sense.
could have some like they could have emphasized. I don't know what the back end is, right? But it's a good theory.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's a trailer that would serve its purpose, right? If they play it in little sidebar ads,
Hmm.
little in your timeline advertisements, I think it functions fine for that. I think it'll achieve its purpose, no problem.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with it. It's just it looks kind of crap compared to the 15-year-old CGI trailers,
All right.
and that's
Not
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 good.
not aimed at us. Hopefully
Yeah,
the art style of the actual game will amaze people and be like, "Oh, that game actually looks better."
that was what
Because it
my
does.
initial thought was like. They have all those awesome cutscenes and like dungeons and living world and stuff of the like painting style,
Yeah.
kind of stop motion,
Hmm.
and that is their strength, I think, and I think they should do their trailers like that.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's not for us.
Who are you targeting? Like if they're trying to
And if
target players that play other games and that's the style that they're looking for, then it makes sense that they would use that other style
well,
to hook them.
and the thing is, if you want to hook a younger crowd
Yeah.
as well, if you want to get the 10 to 14 or 10 to 17-year-old
Right,
demographic
to
into the
add a
game,
little bit more longevity onto the game.
this trailer that they've made is the way to do that,
Yeah.
because that will catch the eye of a kid
Hmm.
more. And since the game's free, it's totally a viable player base to shoot for is
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
So I would say it's probably aimed at the younger crowd.
Yeah. They've also got ad presence on billboards and pasted flyer things up in different cities. London, LA, New York City is another one that got I saw some another Reddit thread on. So
Mhm.
yeah, so they're doing some major pushes out in big cities to try
They
and
didn't
get
get a
more players.
they didn't get a Times Square ad, did they?
I don't think so. The ones that I
Yeah.
saw were like neighborhood.
I don't think they have Times Square money. No. That'd be so cool though. Imagine.
Yeah. Kind of be hard to compete though in Times Square because Times Square is very bling centric and there's a lot competing for your eye attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're
Um,
that big central one on the corner there, then probably
yeah.
nobody's looking. Yeah.
So yeah, so they're advertising, they're getting new players into the game. I have been hearing from some of the existing players that I play with that they've been running into a lot of new players.
Hmm.
And you're seeing guilds now actively recruiting in the starter zones and volunteering to help mentor people in to show them the ropes, get them acquainted with the game, which is neat.
Yeah. And
So
here's
good things.
here, and here's something interesting. Like Ink says in chat, now I can log in to play with 11 million people. I mean, again, obviously that's accounts created to date, right?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't put that in there if they couldn't do that, right? So that's fine. but I so I heard this in my Twitch chat, and I don't know if this is true,
Okay.
but I heard this in my Twitch chat, and the person who said it is in the chat right now.
Okay.
I heard that ArenaNet has registered at E3 this year.
Mm. Well, they've been there. They were
I
there
don't know.
when right before Heart of Thorns. They
Yes.
were there.
I think they went in 2017. I can't be sure.
I want to say that yes, because I know that after that they went again um, after HOT, and it was recently. So I want to say about a year or so ago. So if they have,
Okay, chat's saying they were there. They go there a lot. Really?
yeah.
I've never
I
heard
mean,
of
it's
them
an
being
LA
there.
thing, so it's kind of right
I've
down the
never,
coast. It makes sense that they go.
I've never heard of them going there because usually you only go to E3 to do to like announce things, right?
Eh. Last time that they went and they didn't announce crap.
Huh. Okay. I guess they go there all the time. I thought
The
this was like a new
previous time
thing.
was the previous before that was they sent our favorite Smile down.
Oh, they sent
Yeah,
Colin Sohan.
they sent yeah. Colin's so
Okay.
handsome. Yeah, they sent him down to announce. I think the
I mean,
pre-orders are
chat's
open
saying
on
that they
Heart
were
of
there.
Thorns. So yeah,
Chat's saying that they were there last year.
yeah.
So I guess they go all the time. I thought that was a big bombshell. I guess I'm crazy. Okay.
No,
I was gonna go full conspiracy. No, I mean I guess it's just something they do.
you know,
All right, all right. I was thinking like, do they have a press conference? Like I was getting all excited. I guess they go there all the time.
and if they were to have a panel, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd roll out the same one that they did at Rest. You
Yeah, they're
know,
so. I already ranted about how smug they are about that, but they're so
yeah, they
smug,
they really are.
so
They really are
smarmy
fun
about
character. We do character death well. Yeah. Okay. Stop.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I
Um,
guess it's not a big deal, but it interested me. I don't know. Keep an eye on E3, guys.
keep
Who
an eye on
knows?
it. We don't know what's coming. Hey, who knows? They keep
Yeah,
surprising us. I will say that they've been surprising me in the amount of information that and updates, things that are getting updated in the game, which is good because you keep hearing veterans saying that they are they're tired of the lack of content, high end game content, the sameness that's kind of starting to drag on some players.
I think they lean on festivals too much.
Hmm.
They're every time they're late with a living world. I mean, I know there were layoffs this time, but like even in the past, their excuse is always like, "Oh, well, it's
Festival.
Halloween,
Yeah.
so we gotta wait for Halloween to be done."
It's like you can do both.
That's
It's okay.
like 3 weeks. Like like Winter's Day, so we'll see you in January.
Hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I think they lean on festivals as content too much because it's like if you've been playing for 6 years, you're gonna bang out the meta in one day and you're gonna be done, right? Unless you're a lunatic and you farm that stupid jumping puzzle for 12 hours a day. But it's like that's a minority of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that like SAB, they're like, hey, SABs for 2 weeks. Screw Living World.
Right.
Okay. I don't do SAB, but okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It annoys me.
I know. We've been down this road before. It's okay. All right. So that's the major news. Gem store things that if you haven't been pressing O or paying attention to the Twitter feed, the hummingbird skin is out for the skimmer, which when it first came out confused the crap out of me because I thought it was a griffin skin and I was like, what are they doing? But no, it's a skimmer skin, 2K gems. There you go. It's in the gem store. It's a
Hmm.
pretty bird. And it
I
has a
think
chance
it's
to drop out of black lion chests.
I think it's kind of weird looking. Um,
I think it is very weird looking.
a lot of people really like it. I thought you would
I
like it. Actually, you don't like it. A lot of
Not
people
my
really
jam.
like it.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people do really like it. I'm not one of them.
I'm not either. I don't really care for it. I'm not going to crap on somebody who does like it.
No,
Like,
it's just not my
but
thing. Which is
it's
fine.
very strangely proportioned. I
Yes.
don't think I wanted a large hummingbird. Like hummingbirds are cool
They're
this
so
big.
pretty. Yeah.
I don't know that I wanted a large one though. Like it's kind of nightmare fuel a little bit. So yeah, I'm not. I didn't get it.
I didn't
But
either.
yeah,
And I'm so happy it hasn't dropped out of a black line just for me when the random
because
times
then
that
you
I've
just
gotten
be like,
keys
oh, I have a 2K jet mount skin. I
that
should
I
use
will
it, but I,
never use.
I don't like. It. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
the creep vector is real. The other thing, 400 gems for the Maguma Pact Operation Portal device. This will get you to the hot metas. This is like the world boss portal device.
Honestly, this is way more. It ports you to less stuff, but this is way more relevant than the World Boss Portal device.
I agree. I agree.
People
I haven't picked it
actually,
up yet, but that's only because I have been on the wrong account. But
hmm,
I will be getting it on my main.
because people actually do these like hot
Yeah, and they're
metas.
fun. They're
Yeah,
fun. I
hot
like them.
metas are highly rewarding. They're very fun. Everybody does them, and plus Silver Waste is in this thing too.
Yeah.
And Silver Waste is dope. So,
So have you picked it up yet or no?
no, I'm not going to get it, but it's a
You're
very good
not?
item.
I thought you were gonna get it.
No, it's too cheaty for me. You know how I feel about cheaty stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do own the World Boss Portal device, the first one. Somebody
Yeah.
gifted it to me,
Oh.
so
So
I
if
have.
someone gifted it to you, would you use it?
I probably would, yeah, because like when I need to go to a World Boss, like for a collection or something, I do use my Portal device.
Hmm.
So I would use it. It's just I don't like waypoints are so simple and convenient for
Yeah.
me. As a gamer who came from like RuneScape,
Yeah.
where you have to run everywhere, like I'm like, dude, we got waypoints.
Yeah.
This is crazy,
And
right?
that
Like,
and it's not it's people come, oh, the cost of waypoints is, it's like just sell a couple blues and greens and you made your money back.
if you are having trouble with the cost of waypoints, reevaluate playing this game.
I can't believe you just said that. Ah, he went there, guys. I'm sorry. I have no control over his mouth. I'm sorry.
that's that's a whole nother level. Like I can understand not wanting to spend 250 gold on the Griffin, but if you're like, dude, I got a waypoint,
Yeah. No.
that's if you're running from Lion's Arch over to Silver Waste because you can't afford the waypoint and you're hoping to make it on time. Ooh, that's rough.
The one thing that I would hope though, with the portal device, because I think it happens with the world boss, but I've only used mine a couple of times because I don't want run the world boss train as much as I run the hot metas, is that it does get you into a map that's going to be running them for the most
Hmm.
part.
Yeah,
So if this works the same way, then
yeah.
happiness.
So yeah, I know. It's good. I mean, chat is getting on me for calling it cheaty. It's not cheaty. It's just the term I use. It's not cheaty. It's fine. Like it's just like a waypoint. It's a more convenient waypoint.
It
There's nothing
is.
wrong
It
with it.
is.
I just wouldn't buy it. That's all. I just wouldn't buy it because, like I said, to me, waypoints are as convenient as I need them to be. I don't need anything more
Yeah,
than that,
and if you
especially
can and if you grab the waypoint chat code and then you can just throw it in your chat and you don't even have to open your map
yeah,
really.
yeah, especially with mounts now. Like even if a waypoint is maybe a little far away from the thing I need to get to,
Yeah.
I'm there in 2 seconds on a Raptor or a Griffin,
Yeah,
right? So
I found out today on my alt account because I was running Mount Maelstrom event completer for dailies, and I don't have a
mhm.
skim. I don't have the skimmer unlocked there, and I was like, I really need to just get down to Along Riverlands and just get that damn thing.
Yeah, it's like I guess I just think about it this way: in a world where I can already teleport anywhere I need to go,
Hmm.
do I need to buy the ability to teleport anywhere I need to go?
Right.
Like they're basically selling me waypoints when I already have them,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah. I get it.
like it, yeah.
Well, and the other added benefit, if you want to call it that, is that it tells you when the next
Mhm.
one is coming up or where, and you're like, okay, thanks.
True.
Thanks, button. I appreciate it. I can just press this button now.
Yeah,
If I don't want to look up the timer on the wiki or on something else.
yeah. I won't get it, but it is a very relevant item because those are very relevant metas. They're
Yes.
hot metas and silver race. Those are PVE money making in a nutshell, basically.
And Taco does tell you for free.
Hmm. Yeah, people who run
Yeah.
taco. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So are you gonna get it?
I probably will.
Yeah, because you do the hot metas. So
I do. I like them. They're fun. And if I
no,
can
I
get into a map that is going to actually run them,
I
then
wish
I'll
I
do
did
more.
them every day. It's just usually I get on and they're not going on when I get on, right? And so I
Yeah.
start doing something else. and then I forget all about them.
And I found like two guilds that run the Tangled Depths meta. One at like 2 hours after reset, and the other runs them like on the weekends at weird times, like or later in the
Mhm.
evening, like around midnight my time, so probably like 9 for you.
Yep.
So that that just knowing the guilds are still running them and organizing them in maps.
Basically, as long as you get into a map 10 minutes early, it's fine.
Even 10 minutes early for some of those metas can be not enough time because the map will be full. Um,
Yeah,
so if you really want to get in like 15 or 20 minutes early.
yeah, for real. And that's what I do when I want to do them. But yeah, I mostly do silver waste, which this ports you to though. So
Hmm. Yep.
that's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. Last item on our list. Community event.
Yep.
What do we got?
We got Jebro's next Unity Gaming Organization 5v5 core builds Guild Wars 2 PvP tournament.
Nice.
Did you watch the last one?
I missed it.
I watched it. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. Really good commentary.
Yeah,
Really
it was
interesting. Like
terrific.
I don't know a lot about high end gameplay, but they explain it really well
Yeah.
with the commentary. So, like if you're someone like me who doesn't know that world and you're worried you won't understand what's going on, the commentary is good to the point where you will.
Yeah.
So, if you've ever wanted to watch high end PvP, this is probably the way to do it. I'd say. So, I would highly recommend checking out this core EU PvP tournament that Jebro's doing on May 5th. Yeah, May 5th, 2 p.m. GMT. Whenever that happens to be for you. It's and it's going to be on Jebro's Twitch, I want to say. Um, he streamed the last one on his Twitch, so I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's going to be on twitch.tv/slash
And there are going to be
Unity Jebro.
prizes.
Yes, there are prizes. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. First place cash prizing will be available for a total 65% share of the total prize pool raised. So they raise the money, and then the winning team gets 65%. I think the rest of it goes to putting the tournament together. Um,
And I don't know if ArenaNet, because I've seen ArenaNet tweeting out some of his tweets about this.
he's partnered with
Yeah, he
ArenaNet
is
for
a
this
partner,
tournament. Yeah,
so I don't know if
yeah,
he's, let's see, yeah, so they may be also providing some of the prize pool, which
hmm
is nice. And it will be on Jebro's Twitch channel, so twitch.tv/slash JebroUnity.
yep, yeah. And then the second place, 800 gems per player. Third, 400 gems per player. Um, that's all pretty cool.
Yeah,
But the main thing, and these guys that are playing, like the winners pot is nice, right? But these guys that they get that sign up for these tournaments, they're playing to play. At the end of the day, like these guys just like competing in Guild Wars 2
hmm,
PvP, and they all give it their all. So it's really cool.
yeah,
I quite enjoyed the last one. It was a good time.
cool. I'm gonna have to tune in.
Hmm.
Because I do like, Jebro's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's got some good casting.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. He was doing it with Roy last time,
Yeah.
who does a bit of Guild Wars 2 stuff.
Hmm.
I don't know if they'll have the same announcers this time, but if they do, Roy was really good.
Yeah,
Uh,
Roy does teapots sometimes as well.
yeah,
Great.
he has really good analytical commentary,
Hmm.
and he can lay out what's happening very quickly,
Yeah.
which is because Guild Wars 2 is a mile a minute, right? So
Yeah.
when he can lay out to me what's happening in a situation in a matter of seconds, it's very impressive and it's very cool.
Yeah.
And again, that's one of the things that allows a layman like me to be able to watch something crazy like that.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yep. So look at that. That is the end of our show.
Yep.
We've been through everything that we wanted to get through in
Whew. It was a it was
2 hours.
a
That was a long. I don't even know how long we've been going for now.
like 2 hours. Yeah, it was quite
Jam packed.
the two
It
week period.
it was. Which is nice that they are packing in a lot of information that they're throwing out at us.
We'll probably get a Living World release date this Tuesday
I
for the
would
next
hope so.
episode. Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah, and I think this balance patch is coming in on Tuesday as well.
I imagine so. They say like it's coming next week. I think it's just colloquially accepted that patch day is Tuesday, so
Hmm.
that'll be coming Tuesday.
Yep. Well, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for us today.
For episode 7.
We will be our next show will be we'll be back on our Saturday schedule hopefully. So we'll be back on May 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
No.
May
Sorry,
11th,
May 4th.
May 4th. Ah, you skipped a week. Okay, gotcha. May
Right?
4th.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because we were supposed to have done yesterday, so May
20.
4th.
Yeah, so May 4th.
May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So that'll be when we come back.
I'll have to wear my
We'll be
Star Wars shirt
we'll have to
again.
be punny.
Yep.
Um and yeah, so if you want to give us a follow here on Twitch, we highly appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter at TyriaNow, Twitch at TyriaNow. If you want to follow us individually, we are Inky Sticks for me, Guild Wars Monk for Aaron on Twitch and Twitter.
Guild Wars Monk on
Um,
everything. Just
yeah,
find it.
he streams like every day. I stream whenever I feel like it. Because
I'm
that's
kind of
just how
actually
it.
I'm kind of on the whenever I feel like it schedule right now,
Yeah.
just because of work and stuff. I haven't been able to do it quite as much as I was, but still several times a week. I stream
Yeah.
several
So
a week.
if you want to tune in, just give us a follow, and you can follow us along on our crazy streams.
Yep.
Um, but that's gonna do it for us for this show. Episode 7 is in the can, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks
Yep.
everyone for coming out. We appreciate you guys, and
We'll see you later, guys.
we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.